Welcome to the Eric Thompson Show. Passionate conservative fighting to preserve our constitutional rights.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
A Marine Corps veteran and family man whose life's creed is faith, family, and country. Join Eric today as he covers current events from a conservative worldview. Now, here's your host, Eric Thompson.
Hey, welcome to another Eric Thompson Show podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Friday, January 25th. We have a lot to go over today, and I think it's very revealing what the Biden administration is showing us their plans are for the next 3 years. Thank you for listening in. You can head over to my podcast website, where you can also see my articles at eric-thompson-show.com, E-R-I-C Thompson-show.com, or try ettalkshow.com. That should forward over there also. Joe Biden has been in politics for over 4 decades. I think 46 years now or somewhere around there. And Schweizer put out a book, and there's no secret. There's videos out when Joe Biden was vice president, when he was responsible for dealing with Ukraine, in China and other nations, that Joe did things to protect Hunter. He helped Hunter get business dealings with China, the mayor of Moscow, and Ukraine, the Burisma Group. So the Bidens have become wealthy through Joe Biden's relationships and his positions in government. Joe has said several times over the years that China is not a threat to the United States. A strong China, a strong Chinese economy is good for the world. Come on, man. Well, here is where we're at today on Friday the 25th. Russia is surrounding Kiev, and they're basically just pounding. They're pounding the Ukrainians. There's reports out that they hit a preschool and children are dead. But they're basically have just taken over Ukraine. They're surrounding the capital. And there's an article from Breitbart that Vladimir Putin, now the president of Russia, is asking Ukrainian soldiers, hey, just go ahead and do a coup against Zelensky, Vladimir. It's easier for me to deal with you as the military than what he says, instead of dealing with junkies and neo-Nazis under Zelensky. So there's people protesting in Russia, but they're getting slammed for doing it in front of the White House. But the whole situation in Ukraine is really just Vladimir Putin wanting to get a little piece, another piece of the former Soviet Union, the USSR, and put it back in the puzzle, the puzzle piece back in his desire to rebuild, bring all these countries back that were given autonomy and given self-rule, allowed to go out on their own in the 70s. Let's bring them back in. Let's make me look more powerful and more strong as a leader. But Putin obviously waited till Biden got in office because he's had 8 years to do this, but now it's a good time to do it because Joe Biden is clueless. As a matter of fact, where do you think Joe Biden is today? Well, he did have to do an announcement because he had to announce he's putting in a hyper-radical, unqualified, lack of experience judge at the federal level. He did nominate her, which she obviously is a black woman, and I'll get to the details on her, but he did have to do that and say that the court hasn't demographically or, ethnically, been represented the United States, how many blacks, whites, Asians, and all that. So he did that. And while there's people dying in Ukraine, Joe's going to go home. The White House announced that at 5:30 today, that Biden is going to take off. So think about it. Ukraine's falling. Putin is strutting around. People are dying. And Joe is going home for the weekend. The reason why I think this is important is if you've watched movies, like corrupt movies where you see like mafia people talking to gangsters and politicians doing this and people getting killed by the CIA or intelligence agency, and it's really brutal, and you're like, wow, that's wrong, and you just see all this power playing. Well, I think that's what Biden is showing the world, that I don't answer to anybody. I've helped build up China. I've weakened America, which has allowed Putin to come in. Even in the sanctions, I haven't cut off the oil supply coming from Russia, so Russia can still sell its oil at $150 a barrel so they can make their money to continue their growth. And while I'm doing all this, I'm wanting to, for the sake of the progressive far left radical wing of the party, I'm going to nominate a black woman, because that's what I said it had to be. Didn't matter on qualifications, just had to be a black woman. And I'm going to go ahead and choose one that's only 51, so then she can be on the court for 30, 35, 40 years to continue to push radicalism. If, and I don't think she should be, but if she gets on the Supreme Court, who will be the three liberals on the court that the left has in there? Keegan, Sotomayor, and this justice, this lady I'll get to in a second, who happens, by the way, to be related to Paul Ryan, the former Speaker of the House for the Republicans. Nepotism, the whole, you got to know someone to know someone. Well, this lady's a mess when we get to her, but Biden, come to find out that he's been turning over intelligence to China for months. Yes, Biden's, according to Daily Wire, Ryan Sabadra, Biden turned over intelligence to China on Russia's plans to invade Ukraine. China gave it to Russia. Democratic President Joe Biden's administration turned over intelligence to Communist China for months about Russia's plans to invade Ukraine in an attempt to get China to convince Russia not to do it. Over 3 months, senior Biden administration officials held half a dozen urgent meetings with top Chinese officials in which the Americans presented intelligence showing Russia troop building up around Ukraine and beseeched the Chinese to tell Russia not to invade, according to the New York Times. Each time, the Chinese officials, including the foreign minister and ambassador of the United States, rebuffed the Americans, saying they did not think the invasion was in the works. After one diplomatic exchange in December, U.S. officials got intelligence showing that Beijing shared that information with Moscow, telling the Russians that the United States was trying to sow discord and that China would not try to impede Russian plans and actions. Well, we come to find out from a Fox story that China is saying that it supports Russia amid the Ukrainian invasion, and it backs Putin's claim that he's ready for negotiations. So what we have right now is we have Joe Biden, who literally, if you just look at him, listen to him, he's obviously being held up by a lot of medications, by his wife, I think, who's kind of keeping him going. And he really is a Manchurian empty shell that is just going, what am I doing? I'm signing what? Well, hey, Hunter, did you get that money from Beijing? All right, I'm going to keep defending China. Oh, man, don't you ask me questions, wise guy. What do you think you're doing asking me questions? The United States is at a point now that we have emboldened the two most dangerous nations in the world, Russia and China. They don't have any deterrent from any country in the world that can stop them now from doing what they want. The United States has been so busy neutering our military, getting them to be more concerned about, did you take your vaccine shots? Are you transgender? Have you acknowledged your whiteness and your white privilege and divided the troops and made the troops weak? And so Biden can go home because he put forward the nominee that the left wants. So now they're going to pat him on the back. Russia is going to take over Ukraine. They're going to continue to do whatever they want. But Biden did not say we're going to get our oil industry cranking out oil again to keep gas down. No, he just is letting Russia continue to sell oil, and then he's going to go home and take a nap. See, a lot of Americans get worked up on this foreign news, like, because we're kind of emotional, and the news industry makes its money off of emotionalism. But the Biden administration could care less about Ukraine. They don't want to alienate Putin against them. And for them to give the Chinese anything, to give the CCP, here is our intelligence on Russia. Now, don't tell Russia you have it, but try to help us stop them from attacking Ukraine, kind of. It's just, as they say in French, asinine. But that's the main story today, is that Ukraine will fall probably this weekend. Biden is going to be home sleeping. And Russia and China are kind of buddying up and kind of giving high fives, and China's backing Russia's decision to invade. And the press secretary all she can do during the press conference is to say, yeah, Joe's going to be traveling to Delaware because he's got to attend a memorial service of a family member. Benny Johnson tweeted this. Joe Biden is scheduled to leave the White House at 5:30 to spend a weekend in Delaware while war is brewing in Europe. But Brandon has to take his naps and have his warm applesauce away from every advisor possible. This is Biden's 44th trip to Delaware since taking office. So in 143 days in office, this is his 44th trip. I'm sorry. He spent 143 days since he's been in office in Delaware on his 44 trips. So 44 trips home, 143 days in the state of Delaware while the country is falling apart. That is the main story. My first sponsor is Pure Talk USA. About a year and a half ago, my wife and I switched off of T-Mobile because our bills were huge and they were up and down, and I couldn't keep that from going over on my data, and it was so frustrating. So I heard on Rush Limbaugh, Pure Talk. So I called them and I said, okay, let's do this. And the way Pure Talk works, because now I'm sponsoring them, they're one of my sponsors, so I'm really excited about it because I actually use the service. You get onto puretalk.com or you call them and you say, okay, I got a promo code of FLS, 3 letters. That's going to give you 50% off your first month. So FLS for liberty's sake. Please write that down. And you're going to choose your plans, and then you're going to keep your current phones. You're going to keep your phone numbers. The SIM cards that show up in the mail, you stick them in your phones. You turn your phones on, they will say Pure Talk at the top. And guess what? Everything stays the same. Same 5G network, same exact towers that you were on. The same hotspot, the same Wi-Fi, everything. Everything's the same, except when you get your bill each month, it's going to be about 50% less than what you've been paying. Yes, that's right. Everything stays the same. You don't switch in. No, you keep your phones, you keep your phone numbers. They're on the same towers, the same number of bars, same coverage. But every month, your bill will be about half. That's why the average family saves up to $1,000 a year now. And the nice thing is, if you happen to go over on the plan you choose, your data plan, they don't charge you that month. That's why my 3 phones are $63 a month every month, even if I go over on my data. It stays the same. Very low. It's a non-issue in my life. The CEO is a U.S. veteran. Customer service is in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Really nice people. And Pure Talk is a top-rated wireless company by Consumer Affairs. So join the hundreds of thousands of other people They're coming out. Hannity talks about them, and Clay and Buck, and everyone's moving over. So do me a favor. Go to getpuretalk.com, getpure, P-U-R-E, talk.com, or puretalk.com. Use my promo code FLS at checkout to get 50% off your first month, which makes your first month bill almost really a non-issue. Really, really, really low. GetPureTalk.com, promo code FLS. All right, so that's what Biden's not doing. He's not intervening. He's given up, or I don't even think he cared about Ukraine. Putin is basically saying, okay, I got you surrounded. Military, if you do a coup, you turn over Zelensky, then I don't have to kill any more people. And let's just go this way. That's going to be easier. But if we have to, then I'll just keep pounding you, because there's no one to stop Putin right now. Nobody stop him. All right, when it comes to the other big story today, which, by the way, I want to throw this in real quick. Tim Meads did this at Daily Wire. A federal judge actually compared the January 6th protest to the war in Ukraine while sentencing. They have a man who had a little beard and a Trump hat on was carrying a podium that Pelosi used. And he actually said that what's happening in Ukraine, where people are getting blasted to pieces, children and buildings and everything, what happened on January 6th at the protest at the Capitol is the same. Well, the nominee that Biden is putting up for the Supreme Court is probably, according to her past, she may say something like that, judge said. Who is she? Who is the Supreme Court nominee? Well, we've known for quite a while now, for a couple of years when Joe was campaigning, that it would have to be a black woman. So 3-4% of the population are black women. Out of the entire country, out of that pool, we had to get somebody to be the judge. And you know why? Because Biden picked a judge, and I'm going to mess up the name a little bit, but Ketanji, Ketaniji, Ketanji Brown Jackson, to serve. And he said that, quote, I confirm she will be the first black woman to sit on the court and will bring her experience as a public defender. That's not a good thing. Public defender. She used to cover for criminals, try to get them light sentences. To a court that is currently missing this. Her years of experience make her worthy of a bipartisan support. But his whole point was that we need the court to look like the country. So that's going to, gender and race and all that, that's going to be the most important thing here. And why that makes sense is because the liberals have been trying to get Breyer to step down for quite a while, and he finally did. And so now what Biden says is, all right, I'm going to nominate Judge Brown Jackson, who's a radical, but she's only 51. So I get to replace an old white man with a black woman who's 51. She's barely, just a little bit older than Barrett, who's 50. But that means the liberals get decades and decades out of this judge who was Biden's first confirmed appellate judge in 2021. She hasn't even been on a federal court for a year. And she's already had some bad decisions. Few of them. On the D.C. Court of Appeals, she ruled that Don McGahn, Trump's attorney, must testify to Congress, even though he definitely, if anybody would have executive privilege, it would be the president's attorney. But she testified that McGahn had to testify. She ruled that McGahn had to testify to Congress about his time as Trump's White House counsel. Last July, Jackson temporarily blocked the deportation of 2 illegal aliens who claimed the Trump administration's new lesson plan for asylum officers makes it harder to prove fear of returning to their home country. Her ruling was so radical that acting U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Director Ken Cucciolini slammed the activist judge. So those are just a couple where she's the one that's it's writing the opinion for the court. Well, let's see. Executive privilege. Don McGahn, you were the attorney for the president, so obviously you would be privy to information. Client attorney privileges normally, but I'm going to say, because Trump's not in office, you go ahead and testify against him. I know it's wrong, but you can just go ahead and do that anyway, because I can do that. And then, okay, let's see. I got 2 legal aliens who are claiming that that the Border Patrol, and they're trying, who's trying to figure out if I should be returning home or if I should get asylum. That it's harder. The new asylum officers, the lesson plan. It's hard for them to understand that I need asylum. So she ruled against that plan. She blocked the deportation. No, you can't go. You can't deport the illegal aliens that are in the country illegally, but because this new curriculum that the Trump administration put out is actually allowing the Border Patrol agents to go through more of an equation to verify that the 2 guys don't deserve asylum. So Jackson's 51. Now, she got in 8 months ago to the D.C. Court of Appeals, and there were a couple Republicans that helped her. She got in by a 53-44 vote. Yes, she went to Harvard, but that's pretty much it. She has nothing really to go on except for her liberal decision so far. She did get Susan Collins of Maine, Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska were 3 Republican senators that did confirm her as a district, for the Court of Appeals. So there you go. That is who radical far left woman. She had to be black. Whose family, her brother-in-laws or something, and sister. There's a close relationship, family relationship now between Paul Ryan and Miss Jackson. So we have that nepotism going on, but I think the main 2 reasons why she's in is because of 3 reasons. She's a black American, she's a woman, and she's only 51, and she's radical. There were the other 2 ladies that were under consideration were older, more established, had a better record, more moderate, but of course AOC and the squad can't have that. No, we have to have a tree-hugging, anti-American, pro-critical race theory, far-left radical on the court. But it doesn't change the structure of the court. Okay, it's still 6-3. It just shows you, and I started out the podcast with this, so I want to kind of close up here. This is what I'm seeing. The Biden administration, Obama is in control. He's working down through. He's talking to Psaki. He's talking to Biden on a regular basis on the phone, and they're all worried about how do we deconstruct America and make it less powerful. And so to do that, it's like, energy. If we become not an energy producer, it's going to really cripple us. It's going to drive up inflation. We're going to have BlackRock and all these guys buying up all the single-family homes, which is going to drive up rents. We're going to make everything look so destitute that people are going to look to the government for basic universal income and support. So we're going to keep flooding the country with illegal aliens and people from 150 different nations. Once they get citizenship, we're going to give them green cards, and then they can go through the process of becoming full citizens. They vote. We get 2/3 of the legislatures to vote. The Congress concurs, and the Constitution is gutted. I think that's what the plan is. I think by 2030, they want the United States to be going towards zero emissions, not producing enough energy, $8 a gallon of gas. People are depressed, looking for the government for help. I think that's the plan. If you go online, look up the World Economic Forum, Great Reset, UN Agenda 2030, Everything they're doing is for 2030. In the meantime, states like out here in California, they've been mandating now that new construction has solar on it. Well, looks like next month or 2 months they're going to start to pay less in credits to the people that have solar moving forward. So you have to get solar, but now you're not going to get enough solar credits to pay your bill. So you're still going to have an electric bill now. Isn't that special? But see, Americans that love their country, if you love America, here is as simple as I can make it. I'm in the news business because I write political articles and I promote them, and I'm trying to get people to look at my content because then I make money. When I started doing this, I was told, no, your articles they shouldn't be so much information. It really should be more getting people emotional. So everybody right now is worried about Ukraine. They're worried about Hong Kong. They're worried about Taiwan as our country is falling apart. We as the United States, as we the people in the country, have really we need to start being introspective more and putting America first and fixing our house, which, if we want to use an analogy, has broken windows, a leaky roof, and violence all over the streets, but we're all looking over in Ukraine, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. Does that make any sense? That we're looking at people's homes overseas while our homes are leaking water. Our foundations is corrupt, is crumbling, and we keep looking overseas. The only way we save the United States of America as a constitutional republic is we have to deconstruct the federal government, not the nation. We have to stop asylum. We have to stop immigration. We have to finish the border wall, and we have to start deporting and stop allowing people from overseas to buy our land and businesses. We have to basically close shop, clean the house, rebuild the roof, put in new windows, fix the flooring, fix the foundation, and then say, okay, because of artificial intelligence, robotics, we don't actually need a lot of workers. We'll allow this many people a year. Or if you want to come up from over in South America, you can come over on the Becerra program again, where you come over on a seasonal visa, you work in the fields, then you must go home, and we're going to keep track of you. Close the Department of Education, close the EPA, close HUD. You get rid of all of the departments, the cabinet positions for the president, and you make the federal government a non-issue anymore. That is the only way around this. Because right now, we have inflation's going to go higher, fuel's going to go higher, schools are crazier. The left all of a sudden got rid of all the mask mandates because they want to try to win in 22. But Biden could care less, the administration could care less, but they do care about transgenderism, they do care about critical race theory, Black Lives Matter. They care about everything that most of us hate. We got to have late-term abortion. We've got to do this. It's like, why? And this is a good example, and this is my last story here. As Ukrainian fears were building up yesterday, you probably heard this, but if not, you're going to be kind of shocked. They were on The View, which is, if you watch The View, it's four ladies just clueless, but during it, Joy Behar was listening, and the other host was Sammy, I think her name is. Let me get down here. She says, well, I'm hearing about what's going on. You know, let's see, where's it? Okay, here it is. Hostin. I think it's Sammy. While discussing the impact of the Russian invasion, Hostin said, I think what I also thought was about the fact that estimates are 50,000 Ukrainians will be dead or wounded 50,000. And that is going to start a humanitarian crisis, a refugee crisis in Europe. We're talking about 5 million people that are being displaced. I mean, it's heartbreaking to hear what's going on, Hostin said, with sadness. Now I'm going to play this, and you'll hear her saying that, and you're going to hear Joy Behar, her take on, well, yeah, 50,000 people could die. We've got millions of people that are getting displaced, and it's terrible. And then Joy's going to chime in on, yes, why it's terrible.
Estimates are 50,000 Ukrainians will be dead or wounded, and that this is going to start a humanitarian crisis, a refugee crisis in Europe. We're talking about 5 million people that are going to be displaced. I mean, it's heartbreaking to hear what is going to happen.
Well, I'm scared of what's going to happen in Western Europe, too. You know, you plan a trip, you want to go there. I want to go to Italy for 4 years. I haven't been able to make it because of the pandemic. And now this, it's like, what's going to happen there?
Yes, you heard that right. Joy Behar from The View. And she actually said, well, I'm scared of what's happening, too, in Western Europe. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know you just said there's 50,000 people could die, and yes, there's going to be millions of refugees, but I'm scared. You plan a trip, and then you want to go there, you want to go to Italy, and I've been trying for 4 years. I haven't been able to go because of the pandemic, and now, like this, what's going to happen here? She lamented not being able to go to Italy while millions of people are getting displaced. Tens of thousands of people are getting killed. But as a leftist, as a Supreme Court nominee, as district attorneys around the country who don't care about law and order, who don't care about basic human dignity, this is how they look at things. How inconvenient for me. I'm not able to go to Italy, so I'm upset about that. Boy, I don't know how I'm going to recover. Just like Joe. Well, I nominated the lady, whatever her name was, and she's going to be what everybody wants. So I'm going to go to bed. And don't you wake me up. Give me my apple shot. Nobody wakes me up. I'll be back on Monday, maybe. If I don't die in my sleep. So there you go. That's what's going on today. You have Ukraine is definitely just on its way out. Zelensky's saying we're going to take a stand. Putin's telling the military just turn him over. China's saying that we're in agreement with you, Putin, while they're flying jets over Taiwan. And everything is falling apart. Behar on the left is worried about being happy getting it this way, their way, and the United States is getting ready for higher fuel costs and more stress in the nation. So thank you for listening to this. You can always check out my articles. If you want to catch up on these, you can head over to eric-thompsonshow.com. I also have a new site called ktouth.com. I'm going to be doing live video and audio on there. So if you want to check it out, the letter K, truth.com. And download my podcast anywhere you get your podcast normally. My second sponsor, my no-brainer number 2, is MyPillow. I love Mike Lindell's products. He's got a great company, 2,500 Patriots up in the Minneapolis area. He's got closeout sales going right now up to 70, 80, 90% off. So go over to mypillow.com. Make sure you write down the same promo code you're going to use for puretalk.com, FLS. If you forget that, just go to mypillow.com/FLS. But you're going to go to the radio specials on the homepage. Awesome pillows, normally $69 for $19. They've got the Giza sheets, which are very soft, very nice. They got a mattress topper, which is, it comes in, you roll it out over your normal mattress, and then it turns your mattress into a sea of tranquility. I love my mattress topper, my pillows, my towels, my sheets, robes, and everything. So check them out, mypillow.com/FLS. or mypillow.com. Use the promo code FLS at checkout to save big time. So thanks again for listening in. And make sure you check out the website, and I will catch up with you guys soon.
Isn't it time for a smart plan? Pure Talk USA offers Simply Smarter wireless that covers 99% of Americans. Stop overpaying for wireless. Unlimited plans start as low as $20 per month and include the same great coverage. You never pay for any data overage fees, and Pure Talk USA never turns off your data. No contracts, no hidden fees, no surprises. If you're thinking our absurdly low cost means less coverage, think again. Pure Talk USA operates on the largest GSM network in the U.S. to ensure you're connected virtually anytime, anywhere. And our 4G LTE network provides the fastest internet speeds like more expensive carriers. You can keep your same phone and your same phone number. Add multiple lines to save 20% off your total bill. Go to puretalkusa.com and do something smart today. Unlimited talk and text plans start at $20 per month. No contracts, no activation fees, no reasons not to try. Come to puretalkusa.com and see how much you can save. Enter this promo code to receive 50% off your first month.
Promo code FLS.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
MyPillow.com/FLS. MyPillow.com/FLS.